正等电广播加火让阳拉香杂罗。更个路主正你正着你的南大拉塞维，今年东个就像有些你记得个了。更大这边做了马路门东等个就塞维，这做更拉我就打这样拉就这样的。这得接着你们你弄里接着这种在讲马路门些等个那个今年种子拉着。多年大江三平大松用等里走见真都个这招这当这年见真道路么些将我让要浪的欧马拉巴扎那东马拉巴扎那东马拉巴扎那东马拉巴扎那东马拉巴扎那东马拉巴扎那东马拉巴扎那东马拉巴扎那Umara bazanardo, Umara bazanardo, Umara bazanardo, Umara bazanardo, Umara bazanardo, Umara bazanardo. 最等的结晶，就让我在这街道路的门把拉是，挂到单车上路到八一路主不别能挖掘的说。杨姐前部做的你没上，从那马路前部我家的，巴克拉当俺产土什么。东巴都接将拉上这儿喽。好，我们现在开始讲今天的这个课。那么今天的课呢，我们继续讲这个《般若波罗蜜多心经》的内容。
We are going to begin now with our teaching for tonight. This evening we are going to continue teaching on the contents of the Heart Sutra.
然后这个般若波罗蜜多，它主要讲的是这个空心。
The primary teaching of the Prajnaparamita Sutra is emptiness.
然后呢，空心呢看起来是一个非常非常专业，似乎就是跟我们的生活没有太大的关系。
On the surface, it would seem that emptiness, this concept, is an extremely specialist notion, and it would appear not to have much connection with our everyday lives.
但是实际上就不是这样子，这个空心跟我们的生活是息息相关的。
But this is in fact not the case. Emptiness has a very close connection with our lives.
昨天我们也讲到过空心的这个主要的我们学这个空性的主要的这个目标，就是把我们的所有的烦恼、所有的痛苦，从本质上就断掉，从根上断除。
So yesterday we talked about how our primary goal in learning about emptiness is to eliminate all of our suffering and pain from the root.
虽然我们每一个人的这个价值观不一样，每一个人的这个爱好也不一样，每一个人的追求也不一样。
Even though people's values are different, the things they like to do are different, their pursuits are different.
虽然这个不一样，但是呢，从佛教的这个价值观来看的话，这一生当中我们就作为一个人最重要的就是要有这个应该去追求这个智慧，这个超级的智慧。
Even though there are many differences of these kinds between people from a Buddhist perspective, or from a perspective of Buddhist values, given that we have this human form, the most important thing is for us to strive to attain wisdom, and particularly the most advanced level of wisdom.
生活有钱人就有有钱人的这个生活的方式没有钱的人呢，也就有没有钱的人的这个生活的方式都有不同的方式。
Wealthy people have their own particular kind of lifestyle. Poor people, people without money, also have their own particular kind of lifestyle. There are many different kinds of lifestyles.
这个并不是说每一个人一定要有很多很多的钱。
So it's not to say that every single person necessarily have a great deal of money.
当然，这个并不是说我们并不是说不需要物质，没有物质我们没有办法生存。
Of course, that's not to say that we don't need material things. Without material things, we wouldn't be able to survive.
但是如果物质生活不是很丰富的话，那也有比较简单的生活方式。
But it is possible, nevertheless, to have a simple kind of lifestyle that doesn't require abundant material riches.
所以这个有钱的和没有钱的都跟佛教没有任何的矛盾有钱的人可以学佛，没有钱的人同样也可以学佛，可以修行。
So whether one is rich or has lots of money or doesn't have any money, neither of these come into conflict with Buddhism. One can study Buddhism if one is wealthy. Similarly, one can study Buddhism if one is not wealthy.
我们可以拥有非常非常丰富的物质生活，同时也可以修行。
It's possible for us to have an extremely abundant material lifestyle and at the same time engage in Buddhist practice.
然后街头的流浪汉，他同样也可以修行。
And vagrants as well, they are similarly able to engage in Buddhist practice.
然后有权利那有权利也跟这个有权利的和没有权利的都可以学佛，所以有权利没有权利都跟佛法不矛盾。
Similarly, people with power and people without power can both study Buddhism. So whether or not one has power, this isn't in conflict with Buddhism.
所以释迦牟尼佛在世的时候，印度的很多的国王他们是有权利，但是呢，他们同时也是修行人。
So during the time of the Buddha Shakyamuni, there were many Indian kings or emperors. They, of course, did possess power, but at the same time, they were also practitioners.
然后没有什么太大的权利的普通的人，同样也可以修行。
And in just the same way, very ordinary people who don't have any power at all can also practice.
释迦牟尼佛说，佛法就像水一样，水对所有的生命来说都是非常重要，对所有的生命都需要水。
The Shakyamuni Buddha likened the Buddha Dharma to water. Water is something that is very important to all beings. It is something that all beings need.
人需要水，动物也需要水，植物同样也需要水。
People require water, as do animals and as do plants.
非常有钱的人，非常富裕的人也需要依靠水非常这个贫穷的也需要依靠水。
Extremely rich people depend on water, as do extremely poor people.
所以水跟他们都不矛盾。
So water is not doesn't conflict with any of these people.
所以佛法就像水一样，什么样的级别的人，什么样的人都可以学，都可以修。
So the Buddhist teachings are just like water then. Any kind of person, any level of person can practice the Buddhist teachings.
我们很多人认为学佛就要当一个苦行僧。
Some people think that in order to study Buddhism, it is necessary to take an ascetic approach.
很多东西都要放下，很多东西都不能有。
And think that many things need to be relinquished and that one is not allowed to enjoy many things.
但实际上不是这样子，外在的物质有多有少 跟我们的修行和学佛是没有任何的关系。
But in actual fact, this isn't the case. Regardless of whether our external material possessions are plentiful or scarce, has no connection with our Buddhist practice.
学佛修心就是修我们的内心。
So to study Buddhism, to practice Buddhism, is about cultivating our mind.
所以我们一个人不管过什么样的生活都没关系，但是呢，从佛教的角度来讲，不能没有智慧。
So people can lead any particular kind of lifestyle they like, but from a Buddhist perspective, no one can afford to be without wisdom.
如果没有智慧我们活得非常非常的迷茫。
Because without wisdom, we live in a way that is extremely confused or blind.
根本就不知道我们自己到底是什么。
And have no idea of what we fundamentally are.
也根本就不知道我们的未来是什么。
And have no idea of what lies in our future.
更没有办法掌控我们自己的未来。
And even more than this, have no way of controlling our future.
所以就是说有钱没钱都有办法过生活。
So people with a lot of money and people without a lot of money are all able to lead their lives.
有权利没有权利，有地位没有地位，都有办法过日子。
People with power, without power, with rank, without rank, all are with means to lead their lives.
但是这一生当中呢，我们不能不追求这个智慧。
However, within this life, what we cannot afford not to pursue is wisdom.
因为这一生有可能是我们的唯一的一个机会。
Because it could be that this life is our only opportunity.
这一世，如果我们失去了这个机会以后有没有机会，这个很难说。
Whether in this lifetime or if in this lifetime we lose this opportunity, whether or not such an opportunity will come again is something difficult to say.
也许以后有机会，但是呢，也许是几百年以后，甚至是几千年、几万年以后。
It is possible that we may have another opportunity in the future, but it could be in not until several hundred years or 1,000 years or even several 10,000 years' time.
佛教它不是没有追求，它有追求。
So Buddhism isn't without goals. It does have goals.
追求的就是一个超越世俗的东西。
But what its goals are supramundane or transworldly goals.
然后佛法它不是消极，它是积极的，它对这个生活，它对人生的这个态度是非常非常的积极的。
And Buddhism isn't negative; it's positive. It takes a very positive, active approach to life.
尤其是大乘佛教它是一个非常的积极性的一个这样子的这个宗教。
And especially the Mahayana tradition. The Mahayana tradition is an especially active religious tradition.
非常的人心化，
Extremely humane.
也很开放的。
And also very open-minded.
大乘佛教他认为只要你比如说你可以做和不可以做的唯一的一个标准是什么？只要能够帮助到别人，只要能够利益众生，任何一个事情都可以做。
In the Mahayana path, the only, in terms of what one can and can't do, the only limit or the only criteria is whether or not one's actions are of benefit and help to other beings.
所以这个智慧啊，我们今天讲的这个般若波罗蜜多的智慧，就是跟我们的生活是有很大的关系。
So, for this reason, wisdom, the Prajnaparamita wisdom that we are speaking about this evening, has a great connection to our lives.
有什么关系呢？如果没有这个智慧啊，我们的生活就是没有方向，没有目标啊。所谓的目标，也就这么几十年，一个非常非常短暂的这个目标，除了这个目标以外，没有目标。
What connection does it have to our lives, you might ask? Well, without this wisdom, our lives would lack direction. They would lack goals. All of our so-called goals, in fact, only pertain to a very short time. They're very fleeting goals.
全世界任何一个大城市里的人啊，都有生活压力和工作的压力。
In this world, anyone who lives in a big city faces pressure in their lives and in their working lives.
生活节奏快啊，时间非常的紧张。
Their pace of living is extremely fast, and their time is very precious, very scarce.
但是呢，我们还是有办法只要自己愿意的话，还是有办法学习和修行。
We nevertheless still do have hope. So long as we are willing to study and willing to practice, we can.
比如说，我们一天用1个小时的时间半个小时到1个小时的时间用来学习修心这样子的话也是很不错的。
If we were even able to just allocate half an hour to 1 hour every day for Buddhist study and practice, then this would already be very good.
对一个上班族来说一天半个小时到1个小时是应该是可以记得出来的。
To someone who has to go to work every day, half an hour to 1 hour for Buddhist practice is probably a reasonable amount of time to allocate.
我们可以少看一点电视就可以了。
Probably watching a little bit less television would do the trick.
有些人每一天平均在电视机的前面花5个小时的时间。
Some people, on average, spend 5 hours in front of the television.
好，那我们就花4个小时的时间，1个小时用来修行。
So we could say just spend 4 hours in front of the television and 1 hour on Buddhist practice.
那这样也是可以的，总比没有好。
This is a viable approach. It's certainly better than nothing.
所以我们的价值观，一个人的价值观决定一个人的一生的这个方向。
So the values of an individual determine the direction of their life.
如果我们的价值体系、价值观当中只有这一生没有根源的这样子的话，这个我们的这个追求各方面都会有问题的。
If our values, our value system only pertains to this lifetime only and doesn't extend any further, then our goals will be problematic.
我们对生命的了解是非常非常非常的浅薄。
Our understanding of life is extremely shallow.
几乎我们不了解什么是生命。
In fact, you could say that we pretty much do not understand what life means.
所以我们连我们自己的生命都是来自于什么然后呢，它未来会怎么样，我们都不了解。我们每个人心里都没有一个确切的这个观点。
And so we really have no idea about where our own lives originated from and what they will become in the future. No one has a particularly certain or firm view in their minds.
我们必须要知道世俗的生活对我们每一个人来说都是很重要的。这个佛教它永远都不会否定，不会反对，非常重要。但是呢，它不是唯一的非常重要的。
So our worldly lives are important. Buddhism would never negate this to be the fact. However, everyone needs to understand that our worldly lives are not the only important thing.
所以我们除了这个世俗的生活以外应该有一点更高的追求。
So besides our ordinary worldly lives, we should also have some higher aspirations.
更高的智慧是什么呢？我们今天讲的就是般若波罗蜜多的这个智慧。
So higher aspirations or higher wisdom, this relates to the Prajnaparamita wisdom that we are talking about this evening.
今天我们在这个般若波罗蜜多心经的这个字面上去了解一下它的意义。
So tonight we are going to be looking at the actual text of the Heart Sutra in order to gain an understanding of what the words mean.
观自在菩萨心生般若波罗蜜多时照见五蕴皆空，度一切苦就是说这个心经它不是释迦牟尼佛亲口讲的。
So these first two lines, the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, while practicing the profound Prajnaparamita, saw in this way, he saw the five skandhas to be empty of nature. So starting out with this first line, the first thing to say is that the Heart Sutra was not taught personally by the Buddha Shakyamuni.
那这个不是佛讲的，那是谁讲的呢？这个就是观世音菩萨和舍利子他们两个的一个对话。
So if this Heart Sutra wasn't the direct words of the Buddha Shakyamuni, then who spoke these words? Well, the Heart Sutra is a dialogue, a conversation between the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara and Shariputra.
那么观世音菩萨和舍利子他们的对话的这个记录为什么叫做佛经呢？
So why is it that the record of the conversation between the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara and Shariputra is considered a Buddhist scripture?
佛经有三种佛经，三种不同的佛经。
Well, in terms of the sutras, there are three different kinds.
第一个是释迦牟尼佛亲口讲的佛经。
The first kind are sutras that were spoken directly by the Buddha Shakyamuni.
就像般若波罗蜜多十颂、般若十颂一样，这是佛亲口讲的。
So an example of this would be the verses of the Prajnaparamita Sutra, the gathering of precious qualities. This sutra was directly spoken or directly taught by the Buddha Shakyamuni.
然后第二是佛陀的加持下其他人讲的。
The second type of sutra is that which was taught by others or spoken by others under the blessing or through the blessing of the Buddha.
虽然这个不是佛讲的，是其他人讲的，但是呢，其他人为什么能够这么讲？这个就是跟佛的加持有关系。
So even though these sutras were not spoken directly by the Buddha, they were spoken by other people. The reason that these other people were able to speak or teach these sutras was because or as a result of the blessing of the Buddha.
他们因为被佛加持了以后才能够说出这样子的这个对话。
It was only through receiving the blessing of the Buddha that they were able to utter these words.
加持的方法有几种不同的加持方法。
In terms of the means of blessing, there are several different means through which blessing is transmitted.
佛的身体的加持，比如说佛的手放在某一个人的头上然后这个人就恍然大悟，能够讲出佛经这个是佛的身体的加持。
So the first kind would be the bodily blessing, the physical blessing of the touch of the Buddha. So, for example, when the Buddha places his hand on the head of someone, and that person becomes suddenly awakened and is able to speak the words of the Buddhist scriptures. This is an example of bodily or physical blessing from the Buddha.
这是第一个加持的方法。
That's the first way of blessing.
第二个加持的方法就是佛的语言加持，佛就叫某一个人佛叫某一个人你去讲一个比如说般若波罗蜜多，或者是你去讲佛亲口给他讲，让他去讲，然后这个人就能够讲得出来佛经这个是佛的语言加持的，这是第二。
The second kind of blessing is that through the words of a blessing through the words of the Buddha. So in this case, the Buddha tells someone to give a particular teaching, such as the teaching on Prajnaparamita, and through receiving this blessing, the person in question is able to give the teaching.
然后第三佛什么都不说，佛打坐禅修，那么禅修的时候，通过佛的这个禅定的力量，周边的人就能够说出非常非常深奥的东西。这个是佛的智慧的加持，身口意，这是第三种。
So the third kind of blessing is when the Buddha does not utter any words whatsoever, but rather through the strength of his meditative concentration, those around him find themselves being able to speak very profound things. So this is the wisdom blessing of the Buddha. So we have the blessing of the Buddha's body, speech, and mind.
这三个不同的加持的方法都叫做加持的佛经。
So all of the scriptures that were produced through these three different means of blessing are considered scriptures produced through the Buddha's blessing.
第三个就是佛的开许，或者是佛陀允许的佛经。
And the third kind of Buddhist sutra is that which the Buddha authorized or gave permission on.
这个比如说每一个佛经都前面都有，比如说这个佛经在什么地方讲的有这个记录。
So we can see at the beginning of each sutra there is a record of the place that the teaching was given.
然后什么时间
And what time, the date.
然后当时有多少个人
And how many people were there at the time of the teaching.
主要是那个时候什么样的人请求释迦牟尼佛讲一个这样子的法。
And especially what kinds of people at that time requested the Buddha to give teachings.
时间、地点，然后就是当时的参与者这个是每一部佛经都有这个记录。
So the time, the place, and the participants are all recorded at the beginning of every sutra.
然后讲完了以后呢，所有的人都非常的高兴，然后就向佛陀，这个所有人都非常的欢喜，
表达自己的欢喜，最后都有这么一个最后每一个佛经都有一个这样子的记录。
And then once the Buddha had given his teaching, all of those who had received the teaching expressed their happiness and joy in receiving the teaching. And at the end of every sutra, there is a record of this.
然后中间就有比如说释迦牟尼佛当时说什么，然后呢，另外一个人呢有向佛陀问什么样的问题，然后有佛陀怎么回答，那这些都是这些也佛经有这样子的记录，佛经里面都有这样子的记录。
And in addition to these two things, it is also recorded in Buddhist sutras what the Buddha said, and then which people asked him questions, and then what the answers of the Buddha were to their questions. All of these things are recorded in the sutras.
这些都不是佛讲的，都是后来的人讲的啊。
But all of these things that we've just mentioned are not what the Buddha said directly, but what people who came after said.
但是呢，佛陀他在的时候，释迦牟尼佛告诉过大家就是以后把他的这个佛他讲的话写成文字的时候呢前面加什么，后面加什么，中间加什么，这个都是可以加的所以就是佛允许这么加，开许这么加，这些都是算佛经，虽然不是佛说的，但是都属于佛经。
When the Buddha was alive, he said to his disciples that in the future, or he told them in the future, when his teachings were to be recorded in words, what they could add at the beginning, what they could add at the end, and what kinds of things they could add in the middle. So he allowed these things to be written. He authorized them. And for this reason, even though they are not the direct words of the Buddha, they're still considered Buddhist sutras.
好，这样子以后呢，我们现在看看这个《般若波罗蜜多心经》，它属于哪一种佛经？
So let's look now at what kind of Buddhist sutra the Heart Sutra is.
首先，它不是佛陀亲口讲的。
So first of all, the Heart Sutra isn't a teaching that was personally given by the Buddha Shakyamuni.
第二，不是它不仅仅是佛陀开许的。
Secondly, the Heart Sutra is not a sutra that was authorized by the Buddha.
这个里面有一部分是佛陀开许的，但是呢，这个不是全部是佛陀开许的佛经。
Or rather, there are parts of this sutra that were authorized by the Buddha, but the entire sutra is not considered to be of this genre.
那是什么呢？就是释迦牟尼佛的加持下观世音菩萨和舍利子讲的，所以这就是加持的佛经。
Primarily, the Heart Sutra is a teaching that was produced under the blessing of the Shakyamuni Buddha. It is a conversation between Avalokiteshvara and Shariputra that took place under the blessing of the Buddha.
然后我们刚刚介绍了加持就有3种：身体的加持、语言的加持，然后就是心的加持。这3个当中，这个般若波罗蜜多属于哪一个？
So we just mentioned how, in terms of teachings that were produced under the blessing of the Buddha, there are 3 kinds, or 3 kinds of blessing. Blessing corresponding with the body, the speech, and the mind of the Buddha. So which of these does the Heart Sutra correspond to?
然后这个不是佛陀的身体加持的。
So the Heart Sutra was not taught or produced under the bodily blessing of the Buddha.
也不是佛陀的语言的加持下讲的。
And it wasn't taught under the verbal or speech blessing of the Buddha either.
那这是第3，就是释迦牟尼佛禅修深入到这个禅修的时候呢，然后 就是因为这个佛陀参修的力量加持观世音菩萨和这个舍利子对话所以这是就是属于佛陀的意加持，就是身口意的意加持。
Not being the bodily or the verbal blessing of the Buddha, this Heart Sutra was taught through the mind blessing of the Buddha. So the Buddha, when he was deep in meditative concentration, the blessing power that was generated thereby enabled Avalokiteshvara and Shariputra to have this dialogue. And so the Heart Sutra is considered to have been taught under the mind or wisdom blessing of the Buddha.
好，这个里面呢讲照见五蕴皆空这个佛经认为我们的万事万物都可以归纳为五个东西，可以归纳为五件事。
So moving on to the next line, he saw the 5 skandhas to be empty. Buddhism regards all myriad things to be encompassed or classified by 5 primary things.
五蕴五蕴这个蕴是什么意思呢？就是很多东西堆积在一起它不是一个东西，各种各样的东西放在一起堆积在一起，在藏文里面就是蓬勃，蓬勃也就是很多东西堆积的这样子的意思。
So the word skandha means heap, many, many things piled on top of each other. It's not referring to just one thing. In Tibetan, the word for skandha is pongpo.
五蕴，比如说我们人的身体表面上看就是一个人的身体，它是一个东西，但是呢，实际上它不是，它是很多很多的物质的组合的，一大堆的东西堆积起来的才是身体。
So we could say that in terms of a human body, we generally think that it's just one body, but in actual fact, one body is a composite of many, many, many things. It's only through many, many things coming together that we have one body.
比如说，我们一个人的身上就有600多块肌肉。
For example, one human body has 600 or more different muscles.
大概是有639块肌肉。
Approximately 639 different muscles.
然后呢，有206个骨头。
And the human body has 206 different bones.
然后639块肌肉跟这个206个骨头堆积了以后，就变成了我们的身体。
So it's through heaping together our 639 muscles with our 206 bones that we have the human body.
所以我们的身体它根本就不是一个东西。
So our body is in no sense just one thing.
它是很多很多东西堆积的。
But rather a combination, a composite of many, many things.
然后呢，我们再往下我们的身体再分解的话，然后就变成更多更多的东西。
And if we continue to divide it further, then we can see that our body is comprised of many, many smaller components.
然后我们的这个639块肌肉再分解的话，有60亿纤维。
So our 639 muscles, if we were to divide it even smaller, we could say it's made up of 6 billion fibers.
然后这个60亿肌肉的这个纤维再分解了以后呢，就变成了40万亿到60万亿的细胞。这是亿，就是作为一个单位，然后呢，1个亿、2个亿、3个亿，这样子就是40万到60万亿。
And then if we were to divide those fibers even further, we would find that there are 40 trillion to 60 trillion cells.
这么多的细胞，我们的身体就是这么多的东西组成的。再往下更不可思议，就不讲了。
So if our bodies are made up of this many small components, we will not go further to even more inconceivable lengths.
所以我们没有一个单独的这样子的身体。
So we can see that there is no single or independent body,
它是无数的东西堆积在一起。
but rather our bodies are the composites of many, many countless things.
所以佛教里面叫做云，云就是很多东西堆积在一起的意思。
So when Buddhism talks of skandhas, it means heaps, many, many things heaped or piled together.
我们的身体就是有这么东西构成的，然后这些所有的我们周边的这些物质，全部都是也都是不是独立存在的，都是有这么多的东西构成的。这个道理2500年前佛就知道明白。
So that our bodies are comprised of so many smaller components, and that indeed all forms of matter around us are not independently, singly existing, but rather comprised of many, many smaller components, was a principle that the Buddha understood 2,500 years ago.
然后这么多的东西谁把它们变成一个东西呢？
So of all of these many smaller components, who was it or what was it that turned them into one thing?
就是我们的意识，我们的意识把这么多的东西都叫做我的身体就是这样子。身体在我们的意识当中，它就是一个但是呢，实际上它不是一个。
That which transformed all of these many countless things into one body was none other than our mind or our mental consciousness. It is our mental consciousness that labels this my body. It is our mental consciousness that regards this body as one, being one or single, but in actual fact this is not the case.
首先，这个就是我们的第一个错误的观念。
So this is our first kind of mistaken understanding.
无数的东西根本它不是一个但是呢，我们的意识就把它们都当做一个东西来看实际上不是一个，我们的意识就把它当做一个东西来看，所以我们第一个我们的错误的这是我们的意识的第一个错误。
So the first mistake or mistaken understanding of our mind is to take many countless different things and to regard them as one. This is what our mental consciousness does, and this is our first mistaken understanding.
好，这样子以后呢，我们把这个万事万物可以分五种。五种东西，万事万物可以分类，分5个这个种类。
So it is possible to classify all things, all phenomena into 5 different kinds of category.
其中第一个就叫做色，色不异空，空不异色的这个色。
The first of these is form. This is the same form that we see in the line that says form is emptiness, emptiness is also form.
色是什么？我们看到的，我们听到的，都叫做色。这个物质，比如说光，外面的物质，还有声音都叫做色。
So what do we mean by form? Well, anything that we see, anything that we can hear, matter, light, sound, all of these are form.
还有我们的鼻子闻到的 还有我们的舌头倡导的，还有我们的我们的身体感触到的，这些外在的物质也都叫做色。
And in addition, those the smells that our noses smell, the tastes that our tongues taste, the textures that our tactile senses touch, all of these different external forms of matter are different kinds of form.
这个时候呢，佛就讲色即是空，就是说我们看到的我们听到的，然后呢，我们接触到的，我们尝到的，我们闻到的这些所有东西实际上都是空。
So when it is said form is emptiness, what is being said that all that we see, all that we hear, touch, taste, and smell is in fact empty of inherent reality.
这个我们怎么理解呢？比如说我们看到的，我们听到的，我们接触到的大家都说看得见、摸得着才是真实的东西那么这个真实的东西，因为佛教又说这是空那这个我们怎么理解呢？
So how do we understand this? That these things are referred to as empty. How can it be that that which we see, hear, touch, taste, and smell are empty? Is it not the case that that which we are able to see, hear, touch, etc., are regarded as real? How should we understand this claim that they are empty?
这个昨天我们已经讲过了，空它不是一无所有，空就是虚拟、虚幻。
But yesterday we already addressed it. When we say that something is empty, we don't mean that it doesn't exist at all, but rather that it is unreal in nature or devoid of inherent reality.
我们可能有些人他不想了解这么深入的东西可能是他比较喜欢这个表面的我们的世界的这个表面的层次就在这个表面上它是真实的，然后我们很多人喜欢这种观点我们把它当做一个真实的，然后我要过一个真实的生活，我在这个过日子当中呢，追求一个真实的幸福，我需要一个真实的这个幸福快乐那这样子的话，可能是多数人就比较适合这种观点。
So there are some people who don't wish to pursue a view that is as deep as this. They prefer to operate more on the superficial level of life in the world. What they in fact seek is things that are real. They regard what we experience to be real. They pursue a real life. They want real happiness. And this kind of view or approach is probably suitable to the majority of people.
好，这样子呢，完全是可以的。这也有一个像这种人给他们提供了一个学佛的方式，这个叫做人天佛教。
And this approach is fine. In fact, the Buddhist tradition provides for this kind of person. The level of Buddhism or the approach to Buddhism that exists for such people is referred to as Buddhism of gods and celestial beings.
我们把这个世界当做一个真实的世界，我们把自己也就是当做一个真实的人然后我们有前世有今生有来世然后呢我们善有善报，恶有恶报这样子以后呢，这个他在这个层面上这个观点是一个很好的观点。
So according to this approach or level of or mode of Buddhist practice, the world is real. We regard the world around us to be real. We regard our own person to be real. We believe in this life. We also believe in future lifetimes. We believe that positive actions yield positive karmic results and negative actions yield negative karmic results. And this is a very fine, okay view to have.
我们要了解这个空心啊，我想除了佛教徒以外，可能很多人也知道佛教是讲空心的。
I'd say that in terms of emptiness, many non-Buddhists know that Buddhism teaches emptiness.
但是呢，我们很多人还不知道佛教讲的空性它到底是什么。
But many people don't understand what the emptiness that Buddhism teaches actually means.
所以我们首先要了解一下另外一个东西。
So first of all, we need to understand something else prior to this.
另外一个是什么呢？佛教讲二谛，叫做世俗谛和生义谛。
And this is the notion of two truths. In Buddhism, we have the notion of conventional truth, and then the notion of absolute or ultimate truth.
那么生义谛和世俗谛是什么意思呢？比如说，我们同样一个物质它实际上是同样的一个物质。比如说，我们就是用我们的肉眼看这朵花，和用显微镜看这朵花，它的结论是不一样的。
So we could say that in respect of the very same object, for example, this flower, the conclusion about the nature of the flower that I would derive by looking at it with my naked eye, compared to if I were to look at it through a microscope, would be different.
比如说这一片这个花叶放在我们的前面一动不动，然后用我们的肉眼看它，那么它完全是一个静止一动不动的物质。
So if I were to take a section of this flower leaf and put it in front of me, just leave it there, not move it, and look at it with my eyes, then what I would see is an object or matter that is completely still and not moving.
或者是我们大家来看这个释迦牟尼佛的佛像佛像放在前面，用我们的肉眼看，它完全是一个静止的物体。
Or if we were to take this Buddha statue, if we were to take it and put it in front of us and look at it with our naked eye, then what we would see is a completely still, motionless kind of object.
从我们的肉眼从我们的肉眼的角度讲，这个是真实的、对的。佛像就是一动不动的物体。
From the perspective of our naked eye, this is indeed correct. From this perspective, the Buddhist statue of the Buddha is a still, solid object.
但实际上，佛像真的是一动不动的一个静止的物质吗？
But in actual fact, in truth, is the Buddhist statue really a completely still, non-moving object or entity?
这个花叶我们放在前面看它没有被风吹动，或者是我们没有去碰它的时候呢，它也是一动不动。那么这个花叶它也真的是一动不动的吗？
So this leaf, again, for example, if we were to put it in front of us and it weren't to be blown by the wind or we weren't to move it with our fingers, would it really still be still in nature?
是不是我们现在用显微镜再看看它到底是什么样子？
As to whether is or not, we should look at it through a microscope and see how it appears then.
这个时候呢，我们在显微镜下面看到的，跟我们的肉眼看到完全是两个不同的结论。
We would discover that if we were to look at these things through a microscope, then what we would discover would be very different from that which we would see when we look at it with our naked eye.
显微镜下面看到的，它是不是静止的？它是运动的，它是运动。
So what we see when we look at it through a microscope is not something that is still, but rather something that is moving.
它的分子都在运动，都在运动，一点都没有停止，都在运动。
The molecules or particles of this object are constantly moving. They're in constant motion. There is nothing static or still about them.
这是20世纪才发现的。
This is something that we didn't discover until the 20th century.
叫普朗运动啊，那个第一次发现的人，这个科学家啊，叫做普朗，所以叫做普朗运动。
This is referred to, I think, in English as the Bolan movement, after the person who first discovered this.
好，这样子以后呢，我们现在就是一个东西啊，有两个不同的结论。
So we can see then that there are two possible conclusions to be derived from the same one object.
两个不同的结论是矛盾的。
And these two different conclusions are contradictory in nature.
那到底这两个不同的结论当中，哪一个是真实呢？
So ultimately, of these two different conclusions, which is the real one?
大家认为哪一个是真实的呢？
What does everyone think? Which conclusion or which version is true?
大家认为哪一个是真实的呢？
Which one is true, do you think?
应该是显微镜看到的是真实的吧？
It's probably that what the microscope sees is true, isn't it?
如果我们说显微镜看到的是错的，我们的肉眼看到真实，那么显微镜没有任何的价值。
If we say that what the microscope sees is false and what our naked eye sees is true, then the microscope would have no value whatsoever.
它让我们产生了更多的错觉。
In fact, the microscope would then be something that only gives us even more mistaken perceptions.
如果是显微镜看到的是真实的，那么肯定我们的肉眼是错的。
However, if it is the case that what the microscope sees is true, then it is necessarily the case that what our naked eye sees is false.
这个时候啊，我们看这张纸啊，放在前面，我们看它是静止的啊，但是呢，这个观点我们现在不能不承认这个是错误的观点。
So we can say then, if we put this piece of paper in front of us, it appears to be static. But now we are not able to. We can't. What's the word? We can't deny that this is in fact a mistaken idea.
那如果我们的肉眼离开了这个显微镜啊，它又变成一个静止的纸张。
When we take our eye away from the lens of the microscope, then the piece of paper becomes static or still again.
静止的佛像，
Or the Buddha statue becomes static or still again.
然后静止的花叶，
Or the flower, the leaf of the flower becomes a static or still,
花瓣应该叫做花瓣。
or rather the petal of the flower.
然后呢，我们用显微镜一看，然后呢，这些静止的东西都不存在，佛像也不是，纸张也不是，花瓣也不是。
However, if we are to look at these objects under a microscope, we find that they don't exist. The paper doesn't exist, the petal doesn't exist, the Buddha statue doesn't exist either.
好，那么这两个当中呢，一个是真的，一个是假的。
So of these two different ways that we see these things, one way is true and one way is not.
如果我们两只眼睛油烟用柔烟看这个佛像油烟，然后呢左眼用显微镜看这个佛像，然后我们同时就得到了两个不同的结论。
If we were to look at the Buddha statue using with our left eye, just with our naked eye, but with our right eye were to look at the Buddha statue through a microscope, then our two eyes would derive different conclusions about the nature of the Buddha statue.
然后任何一个东西都是这样子，有不同的这个工具去看，有不同的结论。
And this is the same with regards to anything, any kind of object. If depending on the tool that we use to view it, we will derive different kinds of conclusions.
这个道理科学家已经发现了。
And this truth is something that scientists have already discovered.
但是范围比较小。
However, their scope of discovery is comparatively small.
然后佛教它讲的是这个范围非常的广。
However, Buddhism teaches this truth with regards to a much greater scope.
佛教认为不是一个静止和运动的东西，整个这个世界它长得什么样，是以我们的感官来决定。
So Buddhism isn't primarily focusing on whether an object is still or moving, but what it teaches is that as to how this world appears, it is dependent, or the appearance of the world depends on our sensory faculties.
这个时候我们把这个肉眼看到的这个静止的这个东西叫做世俗的，这个假的东西、虚拟的东西、不存在的东西就叫做世俗的。
So we could then say that which we see with our naked eye, the static form of an object, is the level of conventional truth, that is a level of unreality.
然后显微镜看到的相对来说是真实的，这个真实的叫做圣义的。
And we could say that what the microscope sees is, relatively speaking, real. And so we could call this the level of absolute truth or ultimate truth.
科学家用显微镜，用光学显微镜、电子显微镜来看这个世界。
So scientists use high-powered microscopes, electromagnetic microscopes in order to observe objects.
然后佛用佛的超级的智慧看这个世界。
And but the Buddha uses his transcendent wisdom to observe the phenomenal world.
所以佛用佛的超级的智慧看这个世界的结论，和我们用我们的感官去看这个世界的结论不一样，两个不同的结论。
So the conclusion of, or the Buddha, in using his transcendent wisdom to observe the world, reaches a conclusion about its nature that is different from our conclusion about the nature of the world when observing it through our sense faculties. The two conclusions are different.
然后佛用佛的智慧去看，然后最后得到的这个结论叫做圣义谛。
The Buddha, in using his transcendent wisdom to experience or observe the world, derives a particular conclusion, and this is referred to as the ultimate or absolute truth.
然后我们用我们的感官去看这个世界，所得到的结论叫做世俗谛。
But the conclusion that we derive in observing the world using our senses is referred to as conventional truth.
好，这个时候呢，我们就能够比较容易的了解、理解这个《般若心经》讲的空性。
So using this approach, we can more easily understand the notion of emptiness as it is used in the Heart Sutra.
为什么呢？就是因为佛就讲这个空性是佛的结论。
The reason being that emptiness, in talking about the nature of reality being empty, this is the conclusion about the nature of reality derived by the Buddha.
然后我们看到的这个真实的世界呢，是我们的感官的结论。
But the real world that we observe is the conclusion of our senses.
这两个的层次不一样，一高一低。
The level of these different observations is different. One is more advanced and one is less advanced.
就像我们的肉眼和显微镜一样。
It's just like the difference between our naked eye and a microscope.
所以这个时候呢，我们发现这两个是不冲突的。佛教这个《般若心经》讲的色即是空，跟我们的肉眼看的色即是不空，色即是真实，这两个我们发现最后就是不矛盾。
So ultimately, then we can discover that these two are not contradictory.
我们的肉眼的结论，色不是即是色即不是色即是空，色即是真实的佛讲的色即是空，这个时候我们发现这两个不矛盾。
So then we can, so it's then possible for us to perceive that our understanding that form is not empty but real is our level of understanding, whereas form is emptiness is the level of the Buddha's understanding.
虽然是不矛盾，但是呢，我们也发现我们的感官实际上没有看到真实的东西。
So even though we can discover that there is no conflict between or contradiction between these two levels of truth, nevertheless we find out that what our senses observe is not real.
这个时候，我们发现我们的感官看到的这个世界，实际上就是一个不存在的世界。
And we discover that the world that our senses perceive, in fact, is a non-existent world.
就像用显微镜看这个花瓣的时候呢，他会发现静止的花瓣是不存在的，静止的花瓣是不可能存在，根本就不存在的。
It's just like when a microscope examines a flower petal, it discovers that a static or the static flower petal does not exist. It's impossible for a static flower petal to exist.
不存在的东西就叫做空性。
Non-existing things are referred to as empty.
那是不是科学家也证悟了空性呢？
So is it then that scientists have realized the meaning of emptiness?
他就是明白了一小部分的空性。
In fact, what they have understood is only a small part or a small domain of this overall concept of emptiness.
也就是部分的空性，
Or
一部分的空性。
rather, what they have come to understand is partial emptiness, part of emptiness.
这个部分的空性，我们很多人很多时候都有。比如说，我们非常清楚，梦里面的一切都是不真实的，都是假的，这也是一种空性。
partial understandings of emptiness, well, many people have partial understandings of emptiness. For example, everyone knows that dreams are not real, that dreams are fake. This is a partial understanding of emptiness.
这个就是一个非常好的一个非常好的例子，就是我们昨天讲的我们看到的颜色实际上不存在这是一个非常好的例子。
So these are good examples. And yesterday we looked at another example, that of colors. The colors that we think exist don't actually exist.
所有的颜色这个不存在，这种发现跟我们的常识真的是有非常严重的冲突。
The discovery that all colors do not exist seriously contradicts our common or conventional understanding.
颜色不存在，同样的声音也不存在。
So if colors don't exist, then similarly sounds do not exist.
声音也是我们自己的大脑里面的一个画面。
Sounds too are just an image produced in our brains.
外面是没有声音的。
In the external world, there is no sound.
大家想想，就是在一个原始森林当中，周边没有任何人，没有任何的动物然后一棵很高很高的树倒下来了就倒在地上，它有没有声音呢？
Everybody think for a moment in the middle of a virgin forest where there is no animal or no person. If a really tall tree were to fall over and hit the ground, would there be any sound?
或者是说，我们所有人出去了以后，这个房间里面没有任何人，没有任何动物的时候，这个灯掉下来砸到这个地板上的时候呢，它有没有声音呢？
Or we might say if everyone were to leave this room, there were not to be a single person or animal inside it, and the light on the ceiling were to fall onto the ground and smash, would there be any sound or not?
大家说有没有声音呢？要说实话。
Everyone, speak honestly. Do you think there would be a sound or not?
有还是没有呢？没有。没有。但是我们的常识不是这样子，我们一直都认为有声音。
So even though we say no, in fact our common or conventional understanding isn't like this. We would always think that there is a sound.
我们比如说到音乐厅里面去听音乐，买票花钱那么如果没有声音的话，那我们这个钱是为了什么呢？
If we go to a concert hall to hear a music concert, we buy a ticket, we pay money. If there were no sound in the concert venue, then what would we be paying this money for?
所以我们还会说比如说我们每一个人都不是歌手会唱歌的歌手不多，就这么几个人。那么歌手他没有声音的话，为什么他是歌手，我们不是歌手呢？
So you might say that not everyone is a singer or a professional singer. There are only a few people who are professional singers. So we might ask, why are these people singers and not other people?
所以我们所有人都认为是有声音的，声音是存在的。
So everyone does believe that sound exists.
但是实际上刚才我们很多人说没有实际上是没有的。
Of course, just now many people said, no, the sound doesn't exist, and it's true that sound doesn't exist.
我们所有人出去了以后，这个灯掉下来砸到地板上的时候啊，我们所有的人，我们平时通常的这个想法，大家都认为有声音，只不过我们没有听到啊，都是这么认为的。
So everyone would typically think that if we were to leave this room and the light were to fall and smash on the ground, that it would produce a sound. We would not be necessarily there to hear it, but it would produce a sound. This is how everyone usually thinks.
所以在日常生活当中，我们对声音还是非常的执着。
So within the context of our everyday lives, we're very attached to sound.
但实际上就是没有声音。
But in actual fact, sound doesn't exist.
那么没有声音跟有声音啊，这个之间它是什么关系呢？
So what then is the connection then between the existence of sound and the lack of existence of sound?
从我们的错觉啊，这个感官的这个错觉啊，从这个角度讲啊，我们以为有声音。
At the level of mistaken perception, at the level of the mistaken perception of our senses, we regard or believe sound to exist.
好，实际上就是没有声音。
But in actual fact, in reality, it doesn't.
好，实际上没有声音，这个叫做空心。
So the fact that in reality it doesn't exist is what we mean by empty or empty.
然后这个叫做生以地。
And this can also be referred to as the level of absolute or ultimate truth.
然后现实生活当中，我们认为有声音，我们的耳朵确实是听到了一个声音。
But in our everyday lives, we regard sound to exist. We think that sound really and truly does exist.
那么这个就叫做世俗谛。
And this level of perception can be referred to as conventional truth.
好，这些都在讲空心。实际上，我们已经知道了一部分的这个空心，我们已经了解到了一部分的空心。
So all of these teaching or related to emptiness, in actual fact, we already have a partial understanding of emptiness.
但是我们认为，就只有这些东西，我们已经知道的这些东西是不存在啊，其他东西我们还是照样认为是存在的。
But typically, we only believe those objects that we already regard to be non-existent as non-existent. We refuse to believe that other objects are similarly non-existent.
然后其他东西我们认为是真实的东西啊，这些东西通过这个方法去观察的时候呢，然后我们也发现一个一个都不存在。
However, in respect to other things, if we observe or examine them in this way, we will discover that one thing after another similarly does not exist.
最后我们会发现啊，这个世界真的是我们的感官啊创造出来的世界。
Ultimately, we discover that this phenomenal world is produced by our sense faculties.
佛教啊一直都持这个观点。
Buddhism has always maintained this view.
2000多年，接近3000年，一直都是这个观点。
For 2,500 years, even approaching 3,000 years, this has always been Buddhism's view.
现在有很多地方都已经被科学印证了。
And nowadays, there are many ways in which this view has been verified by science.
但是我们已经知道的范围非常非常的小。
However, the scope of these discoveries is very small.
然后我们接受是空心的这些东西呢，也是很小很小的一部分。
And the scope of things that we accept as empty is, in fact, just a very small number of the overall.
其他的绝大多数的东西，我们仍然认为是真实的。
most things, the vast majority of things, we continue to regard as real or existent.
这个就是我们首先要了解这个空心的这个前提的条件，我们要分世俗谛和圣义谛。
So our precondition for gaining an understanding of emptiness is understanding the two levels of truth, conventional reality or the conventional truth, and absolute reality or the absolute truth.
再说一遍我们看到的这个各种各样的颜色就是世俗谛。
So I'll repeat this one more time. The various colors that we see are a conventional level of reality.
然后这束花它没有颜色，这个就是圣义谛。
But this flower, absent of color, is the absolute level of reality.
所以这个世俗谛和圣义谛，它有很多不同的层次。
So in terms of conventional reality and absolute reality, there are many different levels.
这个当然不是佛教讲的世俗谛和圣义谛。
In this example, we are not talking about the Buddhist conventional level of conventional reality and absolute reality.
但是这也是一种在某种程度上，这也可以叫做圣义谛和世俗谛。
However, this example, we can say to some degree, can be or corresponds with the two truths, conventional truth and absolute truth.
好，这个叫做色即是空。
So this is what we mean with the line form is emptiness, 色即是空. Emptiness is no other than form.
我们下面的很多的这些内容呢，因为我们今天时间的关系没有办法展开的讲。
So there's content, much of the text below this, because of our time constraints this evening, we aren't able to go into in great detail.
但是我们以此类推这样子的话，推理这样子的话，我们很多东西呢，自己也就明白是虚幻的。
However, by using a logical analysis or by applying a logic of reasoning, we are able to conclude that many things are simply illusory.
然后空即是色这个也是非常重要的一个。
So we've just looked at emptiness is no other than form. Form is no other than emptiness is also a very important line.
那么空它为什么是色呢？就是比如说这束花它没有颜色，但是我们的以肉眼去看，它就是有颜色，所以叫做空即是色。
So when we say that form is no other than emptiness, an example would be this color, this flower. In actual fact, it doesn't have any color, but when we look at it with our naked eye, we see it to be colored. So this is what we mean by form is no other than emptiness.
然后这里没有一个精致的佛像，没有一个精致的佛像，但是我们的眼睛看就是有精致的佛像，所以这也是空即是色。
And in the case of this Buddha statue, there is no static or still Buddha statue. However, what our naked eye sees is a static statue. So this again is an example of form being no other than emptiness.
我们做梦的时候，梦中的一切实际上都是不存在的。
When we dream, in fact, all that we experience in our dream is non-existent.
但是我们做梦的时候呢，都存在。
However, when we are dreaming, it all exists.
从这个做梦的人的角度讲，它非常真实。
From the perspective of the person who is dreaming, all of these things are very realistic.
几乎跟我们的现实生活没有什么不一样。
They almost have no difference whatsoever from the things in our everyday waking life.
所以空，这也是空即是色。
So that is what we mean when we say that emptiness is no other than form, and form is no other than emptiness.
色即是空，空即是色，这样子的内容是真是想了解深层次的这个世界的真相，这样子的人来说是比较我想这种人是比较喜欢的。然后呢，这种人就愿意了解、思考它的内容。
These two lines, emptiness is no other than form, and form is no other than emptiness. I would say that people who are interested in gaining a deep understanding of reality would like these lines and would be willing to contemplate them.
然后我们绝大多数的人呢，可能不太想了解这么多的东西。
But it's possible that the majority of people are not interested in gaining an understanding of such things.
那就好，这样子的话，我们可以停留在这个世俗的当中。
In which case, that's okay. We can simply remain at the level of conventional truth or conventional reality.
我们不要升一地。
We don't need the ultimate or absolute level of truth.
这束花它虽然是没有颜色，但是呢，我用我的肉眼看它有颜色，它长得很漂亮。那这样子我可以把它当作有颜色，这样就可以了。在我的生活当中，它就是有颜色。
This flower, even though it doesn't really have any color, looking at it with my naked eye, it is colored, it appears as beautiful, and so I can regard it as colored and regard it in my life as a colored flower.
这样的话，我们可以不理这个佛教这样的空性，我可以不管它。
And if we wish to think like this, then there's no need for us to pay any attention to emptiness.
我们也可以不管这束花实际上有没有颜色，反正我肉眼看了就有颜色就够了。
We needn't pay any attention to whether or not this flower actually has any color. If we can see color ourselves when we look at it, then that's enough.
反正我们看这束花，也只会用我们的肉眼看，我们也不会用其他的东西去看它。那我们的肉眼看有颜色就够了。
At any rate, we only use our eyes to look at this flower, not any other tools. And so if we only look at our eyes and see it as look at it with our eyes and see it as being colored, then this is okay, it's enough, it's sufficient.
实际上它有没有颜色对我不重要。
In actual fact, or in reality, whether or not it does have color is not important to me.
好，这样子的话，我们不需要圣义地，我们就活在这个世俗地当中。
If we choose to think like this, then we don't need the ultimate or absolute level of reality. We can simply live or remain at the conventional level.
好，这种人就适合学人天佛教。
This kind of person or these kind of people who are content to live at this level, are suited to practicing the Buddhism of humans and celestial beings.
然后色不异空和空不异色实际上这4句话的意思就是一个意思。
So those two lines, form is emptiness and emptiness is also form. Actually, these are two lines, but their meaning is the same.
不异空是什么呢？这个色跟空是没有办法分开的。
So when we talk about emptiness and form, what this means that in actual fact, these two things are inseparable.
比如说，我们的肉眼看的静止的佛像和显微镜看到的运动的佛像，这两个是没办法分开的，就是一个东西。
So we could say that the static Buddha statue that we see with our naked eye and the moving Buddha statue that we see through a microscope are unable to be separate because they both relate to the same object.
在显微镜下面运动的东西，在我们的肉眼下面，它就是静止的东西。
The moving thing that we see through a microscope is, when seen with our naked eye, a static object.
在我们的肉眼底下是静止的东西，在显微镜下面就是运动的。
But that which we perceive or see as static with our naked eye, when looked at under a microscope, appears as moving.
这里是不是有两尊佛像呢？一个是运动的佛像，另外一个是静止的佛像？不是。
Is it the case that there are two Buddha statues, that one is static and the other is moving? No, this is not the case.
只有一尊佛像。
There's only one Buddha statue.
一尊佛像用我们的肉眼看就是静止的，显微镜看就是运动的。
And this one Buddha statue, when looked at with our naked eye, appears to be static, but when looked at under a microscope, appears to be moving.
同样的，释迦牟尼佛的智慧看这个世界是虚幻的，我们的感官看这个世界是真实的。
And in exactly the same way, when the Buddha uses his wisdom to perceive the world, he perceives it as illusory, but we perceive it to be real.
有没有两个世界呢？没有两个世界，就是一个世界。
Is it the case that there are two phenomenal worlds? No, there isn't. There's only one.
所以色不异空，空不异色。
So this is why form is emptiness, and emptiness is also form.
很多这个不了解这个佛教的空性的人，就是色即是空，色即是空这句话用来当开玩笑，做笑话。
Many people who don't understand Buddhism and don't understand emptiness use this line, form is emptiness, as a kind of joke.
但实际上很多人不知道这个背后就有这么深奥的东西。
But in actual fact, they don't realize that behind this line is, or that underlying these words is a very profound meaning.
然后下面呢就讲手相心识亦复如是。
After this, it goes on to say, in the same way, feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness are emptiness.
手就是我们的身体的感受、幸福、快乐等等。
So feeling refers to the various feelings of our body, whether of happiness or of suffering.
相是我们的各种各样的观念，我们的各种各样的情绪。
Perceptions refers to our different thoughts, our different mental states and moods.
行就是我们的心动，包括我们的肉体的心动和精神的心动。
Formation refers to the movement of our minds, also the movement of our physical bodies.
识就是我们的意识、精神世界。
And then consciousness is referring to our mind, the world of our consciousness.
亦复如是就是都是这样子，都是虚幻的。
So all of these things are illusory. They all follow the same principle.
这个我们是需要一个一个的解释，但是我们今天没有时间。明天我们讲这个心经的一个简单的修法的同时，可以给大家解释这5个字的意思。
So in actual fact, we should explain each one of these one by one, but we don't have so much time this evening. So tomorrow, in addition to sharing with everyone a simple way of practice or meditating on the Heart Sutra, we'll also look at the meaning of these different 4 or 5 words.
还有最后还有一句话要告诉大家。
Finally, there's one thing that I would like to tell everyone.
这个空性的概念就不要用到这个现实生活当中。
This concept of emptiness we shouldn't use or implement in everyday life.
现实生活当中，感官我们的感官说了算，
In our everyday lives, what our senses say rules.
它就是权威。
Our senses are authoritative.
所以呢，我们在这个现实生活当中，有善有恶，善有善报，恶有恶报，这些都是这个规律，自然的规律都是存在的。
So that's why in our everyday lives we have positive action yields positive karma, negative action yields negative karma. This is a natural law and it exists is existent at this level.
所以在现实生活当中呢，我们该怎么样就怎么样。
So in our everyday lives, what we should do or what we need to do, we should do.
不能说一切都是空的，所以我也都不工作了，不生活了，这个不可能。
We shouldn't say, oh, look, everything is empty, so I'm not going to work, I'm not going to do anything.
另外一个呢，就大家不要认为我们的感官看到的是真实的世界。
However, at the same time, no one should believe that what we see or perceive with our senses is a really existent world.
但没关系，我们在这个虚拟的世界当中活得很开心。
It doesn't matter because we can live very happily in this virtual world.
这个虚拟的世界，像我们这么愚昧的人、无知的人来说，特别特别的适合。
And in fact, this virtual world is extremely suitable for ignorant people like ourselves.
所以这个空心一点都不会影响到你的生活。
So emptiness won't be of any impact on your lives.
这样子的话，等于今天的课是没有讲。
And if this were to be the case, then this would be equivalent to not having even given this teaching tonight.
可是有一部分人真的是不需要今天的课，
However, there are some people who don't need the teaching tonight.
他可以用另外一个方式去学佛。
They can use a different approach to study or practice Buddhism.
好，我们今天的课和这个提问都到此结束。然后呢，大家都非常认真的听了，也积极的参与了，非常感谢。最后，我们大家一起做个回向。
So our teaching and questions have now come to a conclusion. Everyone took part in a very enthusiastic way. Thank you very much. And we are going to end now with a dedication of merit.
所能得以谈着生把年都内你别着南半些，一个南极王龙之白，这边做人着啊着儿修。 我们阿红班整个人把马色的红，我们阿红班整个人把马色的红，我们阿红班整个人把马色的红。 谢谢大家，大家晚安。